Hello and welcome to Laytechs Weekly, episode 29, September 2021. Laytechs Weekly is brought to you by Laytechs, your protection from tech ignorance. My name is Sean. This week's news: upcoming MacBook Pros to have higher resolution screen. The macOS Monterey beta clues contain references to 3456 by 2234 Retina and 3024 by 1964 Retina displays, both of which are not supported in any of their current models. MacRumor predicts that these corresponds to Apple's possibly upcoming 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros. Other features that may come alongside upcoming laptop models include the return of MagSafe charging port. Hooray, we all love it. Additional ports like SD card slot and HDMI. Yes, all the more, right? The more the merrier. And the removal of the much disliked OLED touch bar. Finally, the MacBook Pro is becoming the MacBook Pro that we all want. These new MacBook models may be announced later this year, so it's already coming up to October. So we're probably looking at one of those really final one more thing announcements in November. High resolution screen is always a welcome thing. The only issue would be the power, right? So we may lose a little bit more on power because higher resolution means taking more energy, but I guess not as well because OLED kind of turns off a lot of the pixels that are not in use to make the blacks darker, so it kind of is more power saving as well. But in any case, we'll see. It will happen soon. Malaysians and Singaporeans can use their QR payment platforms cross-border by end of 2022. A few months ago, we announced Malaysia and Thailand working to enable cross-border QR payment, where people from each nation can use their respective QR codes to make transactions in the participating neighbor. So which means that Malaysians can use, Do It Now with in Thailand, and Thailand can use their version in Malaysia. Bank Negara Malaysia and Monetary Authority of Singapore just announced a similar collaboration across both countries. Soon we won't need to exchange money when traveling to either countries. But the question remains, what is the exchange rate? If we follow the bank rates, it's hardly competitive, especially when we can load up our big pay cards and use them in these countries with absolutely no margin at all charged by AirAsia for now. But there could be instances where retailers and small operators don't accept cards because, merchant fees and all that, but they do accept QR codes. In this case, yes, I guess in any case, it is nice to have options. You can do cash if you want to really skim on the few dollars. But if you value convenience and not having to lug cash around, then this is an option as well. Google Meet tests live translation captions. Google Meet is taking captioning to a step further than competitors by giving translated versions. Initial support will include translations from English to Spain, French, Portuguese, and German. It is also only available to users with Workspace Business Plus, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Plus, and Teaching and Learning Upgrade users. So free users won't get it yet. Makes sense because I guess it's not cheap, right? So if you're on any of those plans, you can actually toggle it via settings and caption. Google Translate was the first in the market that has been consistently improving itself over the years. It's about time we see this capability move across to live video calls as well. I'm looking forward to this, but too bad I'm not on the paid version of Google Meet, so I'll have to wait until it comes to the rest of the world. Samsung working on way to speed track artificial intelligence. Scientists and engineers have been building AI by making it learn different permutations of possibilities and coming to a conclusion based on a set of rules. Though through this method, we cannot see AI ever becoming as smart as and potentially deadly as Skynet and the Terminator, and probably becoming like real artificial intelligence, like having a real brain, right? Because there's only so much permutation that is provided into the system. Samsung has a new approach that would make everyone rethink the lack of threat. The company is working on a way to better develop brain-like chips by borrowing from brain structures. Essentially, they can quote, copy and paste a brain's neuron wiring map to 3D neuromorphic chips. This would allow the engineers to reverse engineer the brain, essentially, and learn much faster than the traditional method of developing AI computers. There is a reason why nobody has done it this way before. The brain has around 100 billion neurons with 1,000 times more dynamic links, which means a neuromorphic chip would probably require around 100 trillion memory chips in order to compare to the power of the brain. This is actually a great ambition by Samsung, and we can only wait and see what happens with this little project. In one way, I am looking forward to AI because it is the kind of, I've been sold on the utopian version of AI and robotics and how it's going to save the world and how it's going to make the world a better place. But I do also believe there is a possibility that it's going to go all bad and we're all going to be controlled by a few companies that control the robots and they use the robots to control us, and when the robots get smart enough, eventually robots will kill everybody. Yeah. But I'm probably not going to live long enough to see that. So yeah. China makes cryptocurrency illegal. Huh. Who would have thought, right? The People's Bank of China has called for the formal banning of crypto transactions, citing concerns of national security and safety of residents' assets. The rise of crypto has caused an increase in, quote, money laundering, illegal fundraising, pyramid schemes, and other illegal criminal activities, according to the bank. There are other explanations on this move. First of all, including China's need to control its monetary policy and also track all the transactions of its citizens. China is all about needing to know everything that's happening to everybody, and having cryptocurrency, move around in the country means China will not have control over these things. So it really, really hurts their ego. So, ergo, crypto needs to go, right? Yeah, so I think that's the issue. But yes, it does also make sense that money laundering, illegal fundraising, and pyramid schemes and other illegal activities can also be some of the reasons why crypto is very dangerous. Right, that's all for Laytechs Weekly this week. Laytechs Weekly is available on Anchor FM, Overcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and more. Our full videos are available on YouTube, and I post bits and clips on Instagram and Facebook. If you like Laytechs Weekly, it would really help if you could rate and review it on the podcast video of your choice and on YouTube so more can discover it. Laytechs Weekly is looking for a regular co-host to bring more depth to the show. If you're interested, simply drop me an email at seanbqt@hotmail.com. That is SHAWN, B for Bangkok, Q for Queensland, T for Thailand, at hotmail.com. This is Social Media Weekly, episode 29, September 2021. My name is Sean. See you next week. Yes, it'll happen next week. Bye.